Dear students, in today's video, we will go through the concept called architecture as a transferable, reusable model. Under this concept, we will be studying how uh, the existed architecture model can be uh, basics or fundamental for another model. That is always the architecture as a transferable and reusable model is beneficial because while code reuse at the architecture level provides a tremendous support for systems with similar requirements, and another important aspect is software products share a common managed set of features that safely needs of a particular market segment or for any mission or for organization. And the other important thing is system can be built using a large externally developed elements, and a system architecture based development often focuses on composing or assembling elements that are likely to have been developed separately independently from each other. And another aspect is less is more. It pays to restrict the vocabulary of design alternatives. The analogy for this is instead of studying 4-5 hours with the hard work, we can study in 1 hour with the smart work, and we can achieve good marks in the examination. That is, less is more. It pays to restrict the vocabulary of design alternatives. That is making designs that are simple in nature, more easily anybody can understand these kinds of designs and communicate it, and more capable analysis we can do, and shorter selection time, greater interpretability. When the design is more simple, usually the software architecture is a complex structure, and by implementing different aspects, mechanisms over there, we can make a software design simple one, so that the selection time for a reusability it will be shorter, and with a simple architecture we can make more capable analysis that can be difficult with a complex architecture, and it also supports the simple architecture also support a greater interoperability. Interoperability means the capability of a software element that can easily communicate with other peripheral elements and share the information or data. And next thing is architecture permits template based development. Already we studied what is the template based development. On the each element, that is in a collection of software architecture, it is a collection of different elements, and each element has a different template, means it constitute the configuration, the type of coding implemented there, and the types of testing, and some features in short. So these all kinds of things constitute a template, and just by seeing the template whether the existing component can be used for the basis for other component, like this we can quickly design this reduce the redundancy of writing the same code again and again, and the same code can be written just once and can be localized. So this is a way the templates can be used to capture in one place the inter-element interaction mechanisms. Also, an architecture can be the basis for training. The architecture including a description of how elements interact to carry out the required behavior, and also can serve as an introduction to the system for new project members. And once the architecture is built in such a way that each element constitutes a template, so we can give knowledge to some person as a training that how the elements interact to carry out the required behavior, and how they can serve as an introduction to the system for new project members. This is we can define, this is the way we can define architecture as a transferable and a reusable model. The first important aspect is a beneficial, and the architecture, they are sharing a common features. Those architectures can be reusable. Instead of developing again and again, the architectures can be reusable, and it influences the composition of composing or assembling the different elements, and likely to have been developed separately, independently from each other. Also, it supports the concept of less is more. That is by making the complex software architecture simple one, with the addition of greater interoperability. And this architecture permits a template-based development, and architecture can be basis for a training. So this is how the architecture as a transferable and a reusable model. And next we'll move to architectural structures and use. Architectural structures and use means architecture is a structure. It's a structure of structure. It's a big structure. It's a complex structure. And to make this complex structure into simple structure, we can define architecture in a three different forms, or else we can categorize the architecture in a three different forms. The first form is the first classification is a model structures, and the second one is component and connector structures, and the third one is allocation structures. These are the three different classifications we can make out of the common software architecture. That is model, we can classify into decomposition, class, uses, layers, and component and connectors we can classify into client server, concurrency model, process model, and shared data model. And third type is allocation model. In this we can again categorize it as a work assignment, deployment model, and implementation assignment. Okay. These are the three different categories we can make out of a software architecture, and one by one we will go through. It is architectural structures can by and large be divided into three groups depending on the broad nature of elements they show. That is model structures, component and connector structures. That is, here the elements are models which are units of implementation. The models represents a code-based way of considering the system. They are assigned areas of functional responsibility. There is a less emphasis on how the resulting software manifests itself at a runtime. Model structures allow us to answer questions such as what is the primary responsibility assigned to each model, what other software elements is a model allowed to use, and what other software does it actually use, and what models are related to the other models by generalization or specialization, that is inheritance, or else you can define it as a relationship. Means model structure is a one, and it supports us to answer the different questions like what is a primary functional responsibility assigned to each model, what other software element is a model allowed to use, what other software does it actually use, what model are related to other models by generalization or specialization. And next is component and connector structures. In the previous videos, we have been discussed that what is a component and connectors. Component means it's a part of a software architecture, and connectors are the communication models. They share the data and information. This supports the data flow between the different components. Here the elements are runtime components, which are the principal units of computation, and connectors, which are the communication vehicle among components. Component and connector structures help answer questions such as what are the major executing components, how do they interact, what are the major shared data stores, which parts of the system are replicated, how does data progress through the system, what parts of the system can run in parallel, how can the system structure change as it executes. These are the different these aspects. This component and connector structure supports. What is those aspects? Major executing components, and how the major executing components interact each other, and what are the major shared data stores. That is, connectors. The purpose of connectors is to share the data mutually between different components, and how the major shared data stores, where it stores. For example, there are 4 components A, B, C, D. These are the 4 components, and this is a component A, and this is a component B, and this is a component C, and this is a component D. In the first, that is classification. What's the first classification is? Model structures. Model structures. Okay. In this model, we will be studying what is the function of each component, how they behave in the entire architecture. And in the second module, that is the second classification, that is components and connectors. Component connectors. This structure defining, that is this classification of structures defining how each model communicate to one another. That is how A communicates with B, how C is communicating with B, like this. How each models are communicating, and when they are communicating, they share the data between them. Sometimes they share the actual information, sometimes they hide some information and share a remaining information. For hiding, again the separate programs are written to hide the data there using a different cryptocurrency concepts, okay, cryptographic concepts. And when they share the data between different elements, then how do the shared data stores among these components? That will be represented by component and connectors. Connectors means how the data flows between elements, whether they are the data flows synchronously at a time, or the data flows asynchronously. A is sending data to C, and at the same time C is sending a B. This is a synchronous communication. When A sends a data to C, at a different times C may send a data to the B. This is asynchronous communication, and this is about component and connectors. These represents what are the major executing components, and how do they interact, and what are the major shared data stores, and which parts of the systems are replicated, means you can copy it, And how does data progress through the system? How the